This is a stressful situation. I'm glad it's behind me. And yeah.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. I gotta tell you, I've been feeling like a journalist. Okay, I've been with my notepad, taking notes, screenshotting everything that's going on. And I always like to, especially when it comes to this Diddy case, I like to allow a couple of things to happen first before I just give my take on everything, because we be here every day jumping on, and I'd rather have like a formulated thought based off of everything that we've heard. And so we did that the first week with the Cassie, testimony that she did for the whole week, and we broke that all down. And so the most important testimony in regards to the trial was her parents' testimony. As you can see here, it says that Diddy literally went to Cassie's mom and basically told her that if she don't want, no information going out about her child, that she needs to send him $20,000. And so she had to, I think, take out an extra mortgage on her house or whatever it was to make sure she had that money, because she did not want her daughter to be shamed. So that alone was already crazy. But secondly, it was Kid Cudi, okay? Because it had been alleged that, Cassie, as I said from the first video, Cassie was initially in a relationship with artist and producer Ryan Leslie, who was friends with Diddy. And she left Ryan Leslie to be in a relationship with Diddy. Then while in a relationship with Diddy, in lieu of all of the freak offs and all the stuff that was going on, Diddy prompted her to do a record with artist Kid Cudi, who was his friend. And Cassie, while in a relationship with Diddy, left Diddy to be in a relationship with Kid Cudi, and alleged that Diddy basically, did something to his car, did something to his dog, showed up at his house, mashed up the house, like all kind of stuff. So everybody wanted to hear, Kid Cudi's testimony verbatim. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, and then go ahead and give you guys some of the clips of the testimony and everything that happened.
What's up, y'all? We are here on site at Manhattan Federal Court at day 9 of Diddy's trial. It is a gloomy day, and so is this trial. Niara, get into it.
It is a lot going on. There is so much happening.
They're like reporting live for duty. Like, we are here to tell y'all the tea, and it's just so crazy that all this information comes across as tea, but this is like, the levels, the lengths that have gone through with these situations. It just feels like tea, because we haven't heard, we've only heard bits and pieces of stuff that he's done that is out of the box, but the main stuff we just hearing is bedroom business. Like, it just feels almost like soap opera, novella, or like you just watched a dirty movie that you didn't want to watch, really. Like, that's the only thing that has been coming forth, besides obviously her being harmed and stuff like that. But all the other freak nasty stuff, people are just like, this is too much.
Kid Cudi has testified today, and we have learned so much. Kid Cudi has confirmed today that Cassie was actually the one who gave Diddy the address to his home that led to the initial break-in. We learned that the morning of the initial incident, Cassie contacted Kid Cudi in a panic, telling him that she was afraid that Diddy would go visit his house because she's the one who leaked the address to Diddy. Kid Cudi was very confused at that point, because he believed that they weren't dealing with each other at the time.
Now, the reason why I wanted to make mention of this, right, is because I think it's very important, again, that we have these conversations when it comes to women about the things that are going on, that are going forth, and how to avoid situations, but if not avoiding, how not to get other people involved in the stuff that you got going on. And I think, this is a great example of that, because of course, it seemed like she left Diddy and got into a relationship with Kid Cudi in the same way that she's with her now husband, right? Because Cassie had alleged during her testimony that, she couldn't leave, she couldn't go to the police, she couldn't get help, nobody would help her. And, now it was this whole situation of her trying to now prove that it was the same situation with Kid Cudi. What's strange is obviously she did leave. She did get into a relationship with her husband, and based off of Cassie's testimonies, okay, not anybody else's testimonies, based off of Cassie's testimony, she left, was free to go, stayed with her husband, and then went back and met up with Diddy because she was still having that, like, you know, bond or whatever the case is, and still wanted closure within that situation.
I called this last night. I said, Cassie still got love for Diddy. She said it today in court. I still got love for him. I don't hate bro. I don't hate him. I don't hate the years in the past.
In these clips, it's Cassie literally saying, you know, that she went to the restaurant for closure and ended up going home with him that night, was intimate with him. No, she said that she went to his house and that he, you know, basically took it from her and she didn't want to do it at the time, but then met up with him at a different time and was intimate with him, you know. So this whole Kid Cudi situation is trying to prove that, you know, she could not get away, right? The freedom that she had with her husband, that she left and he finally left her alone, that was not the situation with the whole Kid Cudi thing. So for Kid Cudi to now come forth and say he was, you know, taken aback when he found out that Cassie is the one who gave Diddy the address, is because he was under the impression that that relationship was over. She had told him that they were done, they broke up, whatever the case. And he's like, I didn't know that you were still dealing with him and that he still has authority to come find out where you are. Because if I knew that truth, I probably wouldn't have taken things this far.
So we also learned today that the friend of Cassie at the time, Capricorn Clark, was allegedly kidnapped by Diddy and an affiliate who physically forced her outside of her apartment and brought her to Kid Cudi's home, which she stayed outside in the car during the time of the break-in.
We're going to have to hear from Capricorn Clark now, okay? Because she's going to have to now testify and say what she's seen, what you know, what her position was, what happened that day, what she remembers, you know, witnessing, whatever the case. Now that draws in a whole other person who now had, you know, was an eyewitness, allegedly, of literally watching Diddy break into Kid Cudi's house. And again, the address that he got from Cassie.
Alright guys, we are back with another update. We are going to talk about the 2012 incident where Kid Cudi's car was found up. He explained in court that he actually found that his car was up because his dog sitter called him and said his car was on fire. Of course he was in a panic, of course he was angry. He had requested photos from a friend of his as well as his dog sitter to send him so that he can see the damage that has been done.
This dog has been through a lot. Put the dog on the stand. Okay? Put the dog on the stand. Apparently, when they broke into the house the first time, they did something to the dog, locked the dog in the bathroom. Kid Cudi said that when he came home, his dog was acting funny. Now the dog and the dog sitter saw something happen to the car, and they were eyewitnesses. We need to hear from the dog. Okay? We need to hear what happened from the person who was there and saw it themselves. Because this is crazy. And again, the harm that Kid Cudi was put in. Now, I'm not trying to victimize him. He's obviously a grown man. He was dealing with this grown woman. He knew that she was an ex of Diddy, whatever the case is. But he obviously did not know the extent of what Cassie was going through. And Cassie herself said, and even Kid Cudi said in his statement, that she never told him the extent of the things that she has laid out in the lawsuit. Again, not giving him the proper understanding of what it is that he's dealing with. And a lot of women do this to men. A lot of them will go get with a man or deal with a man behind a man's back. And you know, then they put this other person in the victim seat. They're the victim. Then they now make somebody else the victim. And say, okay, latch on to him. Do something to him. Don't worry about me, because they know that they are the one in the position that the man wants them. And so now his harm and his anger is going to be inflicted on somebody else. That's messed up.
So in those photos, we see the clear damage to the car. We see that there's a hole on top of the car where the Molotov cocktail was thrown inside of the vehicle. So it actually isn't confirmed whether Diddy is responsible for the car blowing up. However, Kid Cudi revealed in court that he believes he was the one that was behind the attack.
So get into this, guys. During court, there was a lot of objections coming from both sides, the prosecution and the defense. And one of the objections actually came from the prosecution against Brian Still, who revealed that DNA came back that it was a female associated with Kid Cudi's car blowing up. So fingerprints were actually taken by the police.
They could have left that part out. Okay, because if Kid Cudi was living this peaceful life with a dog walker, a dog sitter, you know, living his life, making his music and doing his thing, and he never had any problems prior to the situation after somebody breaking into his house, it would behoove everyone else to believe that even if it wasn't Diddy who physically did it, that maybe the person who did it was instructed by Diddy. Okay, now I don't know if he had a whole bunch of drama going on in his life at the time. I'm not sure, but the only time that ever happened to him was after his break-in, and since then, nothing like that has happened. What I thought was interesting was that in that time that Kid Cudi was on the stand, attorneys did ask him, like, oh, did you feel played by Cassie? And Kid Cudi said, yeah. And then they were like, oh, the same person that played you was the same person that played Diddy. It was Cassie. And Kid Cudi's like, well, I guess so. But, he felt, Kid Cudi clearly, he felt a way about the fact that, he was, like I said, brought into a situation that he had no prior knowledge of. If he wanted to be the savior and come get you away and know all the stuff that you are enduring and then say, you know what, I'm going to endure this with you. I got your back. Nobody's going to harm you. I'll protect you. That's one thing. But he felt completely blindsided from this situation because though she says that she loved him and that the two of them were in love, she never revealed the levels that he was going to, allegedly behind closed doors. And so all that stuff caught him by surprise. And he was like, you know what? I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to fool with you. I don't want no problems with this man. Y'all go do whatever y'all got to do. And I'm going to go over here. Okay? Because I did not sign up to protect and save or serve nobody. I need to go live my life in peace with my dog without people harming my safety. I don't wrong him. I'd like to know what you guys think about this so far, the trial so far, in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.